Good afternoon, this is Brian Corum with the Integrity team at Keller WIlliams. I'm sitting here today for our weekly segment of Ask a Realtor Live here on Facebook. I'm here with Donnie Corum and with our in-house lender, Fred Curry. So without further ado, let's hand it over to Donnie.
Hey guys, it's Donnie Corum with the Integrity team at Keller WIlliams. Hey listen, thank you for tuning in. We're doing a very special segment. We had found that on the videos that we're shooting, a lot of people are asking various questions that we don't always have the time to answer during the video about buying the property that we're showing at the time, or how to get it financed, or what financing programs can work. So we thought this was a great opportunity to give you an open forum in which you could ask questions here of myself, Donnie Corum, the team lead at Integrity team at Keller WIlliams, but also Fred Curry, our in-house mortgage lender. So this is Fred. Fred works with us directly. Fred, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Donnie?
Doing well, thank you. Hey, listen, the benefit of having an in-house lender is a lot of the lending questions that we have as a team can be answered right on site. Just a general overview, Fred, what's going on while we're waiting for our first question to pop up anyway, what's going on in the lending market? What are the trends you're seeing right now?
Well, we see a trend that's heading towards higher interest rates, and the market just slowing down just a little bit and keeping going. So we see appraisals coming in at the level they're at. They're not getting above the level like we were seeing over the summer.
Sure.
But the Fed just decided they weren't going to raise interest rates, but indicated they were going to raise them later in the year. So for the time to buy is probably now.
That's excellent. And we've been saying that for a while, right? The time to buy is now. And one of the reasons for that is that interest rates have been notoriously low. I know you can't speak specifics because of the lending laws, but what's a general interest rate right now for a 30-year fix if you're talking about, say, a VA loan program? What's the general rate going on?
Well, like I said, generally, it does depend on your specific situation. But if you have a decent credit score, you're looking somewhere in the mid-4s.
Okay, so 4.2, 4.3, is that fair?
Fair.
Okay. And listen, it fluctuates day to day, so it's super important if you're looking to buy a home in this marketplace that you get pre-qualified. If someone does get pre-qualified, again, we'll get to the first question here soon, but if somebody pre-qualifies, how long is that rate locked in? Like, how long can they basically have the rate that you quote them, generally speaking?
Well, you can't lock a rate until they go under contract, but we can get them pre-qualified, tell them what the current rates are that day. Then when the house goes under contract, we can generally get them stretched out to a 60-day lock. That just costs a little bit extra, but,
okay.
But the norm is a 30-day lock.
Okay, so to kind of explain that industry term, a 30-day lock means your interest rate's going to be locked for that 30-day period, but as Fred pointed out, you got to be under contract. So the problem a lot of people have when they come in is they want to go shopping for the house before they lock with you on the interest rate side of it, and that's an issue because what you qualify for today may vary if the rates go up, right?
Yes.
So locking in for a certain amount of time is crucial, which is why here at the team, when you guys are watching the videos, we're always like, call us, we want to get you pre-qualified for this home. We're first going to pre-qualify you, we'll know what your rate's going to be, lock the rate for a 30 to 60-day period, to your point, and then once we've got that done and we're under contract, now we know what your rate's ultimately going to be when you close on the home.
Yes.
Actually, while you guys are off that subject, first question just came in. How do I know what I can afford to buy?
That's a great question. You want to field that one?
Sure. What we do is we take an application, we check your income, balance it with your debts, and come up with what's called a debt-to-income ratio, which is mandated by federal guidelines on what you can qualify for. So that kind of just tells you how much you can purchase based on what your debt load is.
Yeah, that's a great lender answer. There's a total truth to that. I guess adding to that is the debt to income is a lot decided by what you're comfortable with, right? If you're currently paying $1,400 a month for rent, there are multiple mortgage calculators out there that will show you, based on that payment, how much you can qualify for. But the key here is not to try this on your own. Having a skilled mortgage broker can absolutely tell you what you can afford to buy. This is one of those questions that is best left to a professional who can absolutely tell you, based on your income, where you want to keep your payment and what interest rates are at right now. This is what you can afford to buy.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, next question. This one actually came from a team member because they are working with someone who just asked me this question. So thanks for that. Can I get a foreclosure with a VA loan?
Yes, absolutely you can. It is more difficult than a regular purchase because it is generally a bank-owned property. It takes time. It has to pass a VA inspection and appraisal, but it is possible to do that.
Yeah, and adding to that, listen, we buy foreclosure properties with VA loans all the time. It is more difficult, no doubt, but that just goes to say the complication means you want a skilled professional on it. You don't want to leave buying a foreclosure to an unskilled professional in any case. Buying a house is a complicated process, and although there are 4,300 agents out there, only some of them and their lender partners are skilled in the process of using VA or FHA financing to buy a foreclosure. Yes, it can be done, but it really takes somebody who's got a sharp understanding of how that marketplace works and what the benefits using that loan program to gain equity are.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
All right. Well, we are still waiting for a few more questions. In the meantime, when you're out there, anything you want to ask, anything that you need to know about the buying or selling process, we're here to answer those questions. So go ahead and submit those questions, and that way we will be happy to answer whatever needs you might have in this real estate market. Can you guys kind of tell us about the Colorado Springs market what the predictions are, what the trends are? What are we looking for in terms of buyers? What can we expect there, as well as in terms of sellers?
That's a great question, and unfortunately, the market is such a moving thing. It's hard to quote anything specifically, but I will say that for the first time in several years, we can confidently say we're in a seller's market today. The sellers have the upper hand. We have an inventory shortage, whereas normally in this time of year, we should have 4,000 or 4,500 active listings on the marketplace. Today, it's not too uncommon to see us at 2,500 or even less. So today is absolutely a seller's market, which is great news if you're somebody looking to sell a home in this marketplace. And of course, if you're looking to do so, please give us a call. We'll offer you a free equity evaluation where we can walk you through at least what you could sell your property for in this market. And we have investors available who can give you a cash offer on your property today. So if you don't want to deal with the showing process, the listing process, you just want to get rid of it, we can offer a service to you absolutely free that will at least tell you what your property is worth. Give us a call or comment here on this video for more details about that. But the short answer to your question, Brian, is the market is changing, and it's a great time to buy, as Fred pointed out, because rates are still really, really low. And although prices are heading upward because it's a seller's market, I think a lot of people are going to regret not locking in an interest rate at early 4% ranges when rates go back up to 5 or 6% and the markets come up. And now the affordability index in this town, which has decreased over the last couple of years, it is more expensive to live in Colorado Springs than it ever has. It's going to get worse if you don't lock in that rate and buy a house in today's market. I mean, what's your take on interest rates future? How long do you think we'll stay this low?
Well, I mean, that's just a big guess. But the Fed, like I said, the Fed announcing that they are going to do another interest rate hike this year indicates their confidence in the economy and the way it's going to grow. And that's all. It's just going to cause interest rates to rise.
Absolutely. And I think everybody's been saying that sentiment for years. And I remember when rates were in the early 3s, and I was saying on our radio show on KRDO News Radio that rates have to come up. They have to come up. And years later, there were still late 3s, early 4s. I'm going, well, I don't know how long I want to be the guy, Chicken Little, yelling that the sky is falling. I don't want to be that guy. So I stopped saying it. But now we are seeing that. We are, in fact, seeing that we used to get a 30-year fixed rate. This wasn't as long ago. I'm sure you remember, at 3 1/4 or 3 3/8. And today, a good rate is 4 1/4. Am I right?
Yes.
So that massive change shows us that rates are heading upwards, and they can't stay this low forever. And today's a good time to buy because the marketplace is shifting that direction. Where's the market going to go? We don't know. But what we do know is today's a great time to buy because it's still affordable to buy a home here. There's still some great opportunities available in the foreclosure marketplace, and you can still find a really nice house in a great neighborhood all over Colorado Springs, Colorado, because we're just truly in a great neighborhood and a great place to live.
All right, I've got a few more questions for you. So let's start with this one. What's the minimum credit score that I have to buy a home?
Well, for us, we have programs that go all the way down to 500. Wow. It just requires a little work on that end and some cash down payment. A minimum down payment on that is 10%. Most people go in a 580 minimum on a 3.5% FHA loan.
So 580 FICO score. So, a common misconception is I got to have great credit to buy a house. Listen, 580 is not considered great credit by any means, right? It's not going to be the best interest rate ever, but do some quick math here. Every month that you're delaying buying a home, you're paying into the rental system. Rates are heading upwards. If you have just marginal enough credit to get financed for a home, now is the time to buy it. With programs that can take you as low as a 500 FICO score, you want to buy in this marketplace just to avoid being priced out of the market, which is going to happen to a lot of people at the 6 to 12% appreciation numbers we're seeing in Colorado Springs real estate right now.
we're going to do a little follow-up question that also came in here. How much money should I have saved before I should consider buying a home?
Well, that's an arbitrary question based on the home value and what you're looking for in a specific situation. But what you're going to need, if you were looking at a down payment assistance program like CHAFA, Colorado Housing, that would provide, you would need a minimum of $1,000 of your own money, and then closing costs on top of that, which would be somewhere around 3% of the purchase price.
However, we do have the ability to get the closing costs financed in the deal. So we can ask the seller to pay the concessions on that. So the answer to that question in real short form is what Fred said, $1,000 down. You can own a home at $1,000 down. And if you're a VA home buyer, part of our proud military service members out there, you can own a home with nothing down. So waiting to save up a down payment is generally not wise. You actually have to put more money down to rent a home when you consider first months, last months, and security deposit and all that stuff than it would take to buy a home right now in this marketplace. A lot of people are saving, but while they're saving, the money they're going to put as a down payment is now adding to the price of the home. So the home you could have bought last year at $250,000 is now a $255,000 house. I encourage people, if you're in a position credit score wise to move into your own home, now is the time to do it. Obviously we're real estate agents, so we're supposed to say that, but there's a lot of truth to do it before prices continue to increase, because you may save an extra $10,000, but if the house costs you $10,000 more, that's going to be a net loss.
So I'm gonna preface this question with, can you kind of give us the general overview of the process of buying a house? So of course we start with the pre-qualification with Fred or with the lender, and then what do we go from there?
Great question. Well, here at the Integrity Team, you guys have been watching, hopefully you guys have been watching a lot of our videos, but a big part of what we do is our discovery process. So we meet up and we discover what your desires are. The pre-qualification is one factor because we absolutely got to make sure that you qualify to buy the home, but discovery is going to determine what your wants are in home buying. How many bedrooms, how many baths. If the kids are already in a certain school district or at a certain school, you're obviously going to want them to stay there, so you want to find a neighborhood you want to stick inside of. Do you need a 3-car garage or 2? Is a fenced-in backyard important? All these things are going to go into the decision to buy your home. Unfortunately, a lot of home buyers don't do this discovery process. They just go out there and start looking at homes on Zillow or any number of other places. They try to hop online and look at them. We want to go through a process and making sure that we're only looking at the houses that are going to fit your needs, and that discovery is a big difference, the Integrity Team difference that will help. Next phase is the consultation phase. Consultation is where we're finding solutions that fit that problem. In the home buying side of this, the solutions are properties that fit your needs. If you're looking for a 3 or 4 bedroom house, we can easily eliminate all the 2-bedroom houses that are on the marketplace, so you're not wasting your time looking at properties that don't fit your needs. If you need to be in a $250,000 mortgage, we're not going to take you to $330,000 houses, right? That just doesn't make a ton of sense. We want to make sure that during the consultation phase, we are locating solutions that'll fit your specific needs. And perhaps one of the biggest places we shine is our negotiating a competitive offer phase. This is the phase in which we're writing an offer. Houses in this marketplace, particularly below 300, are frequently finding multiple offer situations are weighing out normally, right? So you're going to see that more times than not, we have more than one offer. Your offer has to be highly competitive, and competitive is not all about what you're paying for the house. It's about, do you have a strong lender who's on the pre-qual? Are you offering the appropriate amount down? Are you putting the inspection, resolution, and deadlines in a time frame that's to make you more competitive than other offers that come in? You don't want to leave this to a neophyte. There's a lot of new agents out there who are simply shotgunning offers just because that's what they think they're supposed to be doing. Not the case. We win our offers more times than not because we present them in a manner that we can negotiate them effectively. So negotiating is a big part of what we do here at the Integrity Team, and you definitely want a top-notch agent to help you with that. Contract to close is the next phase. Contract to close is when you're finally under contract, you found the house, we wrote the offer was accepted. Well, what happens next? Well, your first step is getting an inspection done. We work with a top inspection company, Integrity Home Inspections, who's going to beat that house up, if you will, find all the problems with the property, and make sure we either ask the seller to pay for it or we ask for an appropriate concession to deal with it, right? Big part of the inspection process. From there, Fred's going to get an appraisal scheduled, making sure the bank's happy with the property, that it comes in an evaluation that's supposed to come in, and then from there, generally speaking, we're scheduling your closing date and moving date, right? I'm skipping some steps along the way, but contract close should not be taken lightly. A lot of deals fall apart after they're under contract because they don't have the right team working with them to take you from that contract date to the closing date that we're all working for. And listen, as a customer service focused team, we're really proud of our post-closing process. We want to work with you for years to come and make sure that you don't just buy one house with our team, but many houses for years to come. A lot of people think they're buying their dream home, house they're going to buy and stay until they die. Reality says that most people live in their first home for 3 to 5 years. So we want to make sure that we're working with you for years to come to down the road sell that property, give you the right list of renovations to keep that property in line. So when you are ready to sell it, we certainly want to be your team of choice to make sure we're the best fit for you long term. We're really proud of our post-closing process and our client care after the fact. It's a big part of what we do here.
Well, that actually answered another question that was going to be in there, which is how important is it to get a home inspection? I think we clarify that's really important. It's a very important process. 2 questions that kind of tie together here. Isn't it cheaper to get a home without an agent, and or how do I choose a real estate agent?
That's a great question. Thank you. Is it cheaper to get a home without an agent? No. The buyer's agent side of this is paid for by the seller. When a house is listed, it's what's called a co-op commission. It's generally 6%, and there's an agreement in the MLS, our multiple listing service, that says we're going to split that commission on day one. So you as the buyer can get representation from a professionally trained buyer's agent on the integrity team at absolutely no cost to you. I'll not only argue that it's not cheaper to not have a buyer's agent, it will actually cost you money in most cases. When you're negotiating directly with a seller, you got to remember the seller has an agent. We know that because they listed it in our listing service. You never want to be working directly with the guy that's representing the other party. We work for you for free, but we have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that we get you the best deal possible. So you really do want to get a buyer's agent to work for you. But once again, as the second part of the question, how much is it going to cost? Absolutely nothing. Our services are 100% free, and we have a love it or list it guarantee. So if you buy a house using our team and you don't absolutely adore the property within 18 months of moving into it, we will sell it for you for absolutely free. Now that's the integrity team difference. You don't have to worry if this is the perfect house they're going to live in for the rest of your life, because ultimately you're only going to live there as long as you want. And because we're focused on buying you not a house but a great deal in this marketplace, some people sell their house inside of a year and make a profit on it and move on to the next house. So our goal is to make you a client for life, and in doing so, we want to represent to your best interest. But once again, our costs to have us as a buyer's agent are 100% free. You really want to take advantage of the service that's available, especially if you don't have to pay for it along the way.
Okay. I watch a lot of house flipping TV shows.
Stop.
How hard would it be for me to start making money buying and selling homes?
I love this question. I got to be honest, I'm asked this about once a week, so thank you so much for whoever asked that. The house flipping shows are cartoons. They're cartoons with live actors. And I can't stress enough that more people have gotten in trouble watching A&Es flip this house, trying to do what they're seeing on TV and make a profit on it than I can count. It's one of the most devastating parts of real estate investing, is attempting to do this based on something you saw on a house flipping show. Listen, there's a lot of moving parts in flipping houses. We have investors that we help to flip actively. My best clients do 4 houses per year, and they're making money in each and every one of those. But let me give you the key to making money in house flipping: hiring the right agent. It really is that simple. You see, if you are working by yourself, you are a layman to this industry. There are parts you don't understand that, trust me, when they say they put carpet in a whole house for $800, I would love to be the carpet guys that are putting in an entire house with a carpet for $800, okay? I would use them every single time, but they don't exist. Okay? And the reality of some of these house flipping shows, a couple of those guys got in trouble because they found that you were watching this perfectly remodeled house, but if they turned the camera the opposite direction, only half of it was finished. A lot of the profit numbers they'd claimed were complete and utter bunk. Okay, I encourage you, if you want to make money house flipping, I would love to work with you. If you are flipping 4 houses a year, you're a great source of income for me, but my home flippers make about $15,000 to $20,000 on average per property that they flip, but the key is buying it right. And buying it right requires an agent that's not interested in just making commission on the sale, but is interested in making sure you make a profit on the deal so you'll buy your next one and the one after that. How feasible is it to make money flipping houses? It's extremely feasible. There are deals out there. We find them every single day, and we broadcast them on our channel, ColoradoForeclosureDeals.com. So stay tuned to that to find the best deals out there. But once we've located you a deal, what's going to happen next? How do you fix it? What do you fix? Who's the contractors to do it? How will you get it financed? How will you get it resold? All those questions can be answered by having my team of agents working with you to buy a great deal and then sell that deal at a profit. My best encouragement to you out there who want to go into home flipping, we would love to work with you in that capacity, but please, please, please don't believe the hype. Don't watch the shows. Get a professional to help you to buy the house and sell it as a profit. My clients have been with me for years, and they will continue to work with me because I help them to make money on selling houses. We can help you to do the same. Just give us a call. We're happy to work with you to find a great deal out there on a home flip.
All right. This is a great question now, especially in this market. My mortgage is paid off. Why should I consider selling?
That's a good one. One of the worst financial tools out there is what we refer to as debt equity. And here's what debt equity is. Debt equity is that money that you've got sitting in a paid-for house that as of right now gives you a lot of peace of mind because, heck, you don't have a mortgage payment anymore, right? And obviously, anybody with a paid-for mortgage knows the years of pain and turmoil and payments it took to get from signing that 30-year mortgage to making that last payment. That relief must be amazing. I've never experienced it myself, but I'm sure it's a great feeling. So why should you do it? Well, debt equity is not making you any money. If you take that money, you're in that free and clear property, and you were to sell or refinance that property and pull the capital out, you could then invest that money at well above the 4% interest rates that Fred and the mortgage companies are charging right now. If you wanted to be a home flipper, you got a paid-for house, you could either sell the house, use it as your capital to buy your new property, or you could borrow against the property and use that as a down payment, or if you have enough equity in a home, you could use it as a complete payoff on a brand new property that you're now making 15 to 20 grand on. You know, why should you do it? Because it can make you more money. Now, if you're comfortable where you're at and you just want to stay in that paid-for house and pay the taxes and it's something nice to leave to the kids, God bless you. I'm not complaining at all. But if you're really trying to make a difference, if you want to take that money and invest it well above the 4% return on a mortgage, the time is now, and this is the marketplace to do it. Investors are coming from all over the country. Hedge funds from California are coming in and buying up everything that moves in the Colorado Springs market. Obviously, they know something we don't. And you can take advantage of that by being in your own local marketplace, by not sitting on a free and clear property, rather either borrowing against it or selling it to buy the home of your dreams, updating that and moving up. Well, there are people I have worked with who started at $250,000 houses who now live in $1 million houses they paid cash for. And they did that by buying low and selling high. Well, the market's at a height right now, so today would be a good time to sell. Now, it's not a great time to buy, being perfectly honest, but if you got to buy a house, now is the time. If you're going to upgrade anyway, now is the time to do that as well because interest rates are low. You know, so the answer to that question really comes down to what's your comfort zone look like. At the Integrity Team, we want to work with people who are comfortable. I don't like the term taking a risk, but understand that debt equity is not doing any good for them. Rather, they want to invest that money to make more money rather than having a paid-for mortgage. We certainly can help you with that and would love to work with you to protect your assets, but also grow that money and grow your net worth in the process.
So, if I'm selling, and if I'm selling in this market, why do I want to have an agent? Wouldn't it cost me more, and why wouldn't I just sell it myself?
A great question. It's been proven by lots of statistics done by the National Association of Realtors that for sale by owners generally sell for about 10% less than listed properties. The reality is you wouldn't want to represent yourself in a legal defense, and you certainly don't want to represent yourself in selling a home. As professional real estate agents, we can provide more marketing services and more exposure than you could possibly get on your own. The reality of selling a property, as well as anything else, is marketing exposure. The more exposure you get, the more buyers you'll generate. The more buyers you'll generate, the more offers you're going to get. The more offers you're going to get, the more money you can get for your property. Our patented system of selling properties allows you to get top dollar in this marketplace, and we guarantee it. Our $5,000 list price guarantee means we will hit your list price, or we will pay you $5,000 cash at closing. We are so confident that we can find a price that the market will bear that we're willing to put our money where our mouth is and get you a guaranteed result on your property. Not a lot of agents will do that, but that is another Integrity Team difference. So why not for sale by owner? Well, reason number 2 is litigation. The leading reason that people end up in court as it relates to real estate is because of for sale by owner. They didn't have the right contracts, they didn't prepare the right documents, they didn't provide the right disclosures. in that situation, you could be liable for a home that you sold 5, 10, 20 years down the road. They can come back and say something wasn't properly disclosed, and now they want to sue you for the result. Don't put yourself in harm's way. For sale by owner is generally a dangerous process. Listen, the market's hot. I'm not going to lie to you. It would definitely save you some money to sell a house for sale by owner. We're very good at what we do, but we're certainly not free. So we provide a great service to those people who understand that professional selling your home is important and understand that you don't want to end up in court down the road or end up with a liability situation you didn't want. When this house sells, you want to collect your money, your equity on the property, and move on to the next one without any further thought. We can guarantee that outcome. Work with a professional on selling your property, and you can definitely get a better result and statistically show more money if you're able to sell to a professional than you're going to make on your own.
So I think this is a multiple part question, but there could be a few pieces to this. I've tried to put in offers in a few homes, and my offers keep getting rejected. Is there any hope of buying a house here? What am I/my agent doing wrong?
There's a
piece by piece for it if you want.
That's a loaded question. Listen, here's the thing. I'm not here to trounce any agent specifically, but there is a difference between a professional real estate agent and a hobbyist real estate agent. You should know that there are 4,300 licensed agents here in town, and the average real estate agent sells 4 houses per year. Now, the reality to selling 4 houses per year means that with that amount of practice, the contract's not going to be prepared exactly the way it should be to get the best result. Okay? And coming from a team that's got a professional backing and a solid mortgage partner will separate your offer from the other offers that are coming in. I'm not saying your agent's doing anything wrong. They might not be doing anything wrong at all. But you have to get to houses first in this market. They're going so fast that if you're not at the office at 8 o'clock in the morning, like myself and my entire team is every morning, scouring the market for the best deals out there and having offers in not by afternoon, but hours after they're listed, that's the way to beat out the competition. You need an aggressive professional agent to get a deal done in this marketplace right now. Too many people are leaving this to rookies, and they're getting rookie results. And this is not me knocking any specific agent out there, just advising that if you're in a competitive market and a competitive price point like we are in most of Colorado Springs, you definitely want somebody who knows what they're doing. And I'm proud to say that myself bring 12 years of experience at hundreds of transactions, but I have trained my team to be one of the hardest working teams out there to find the deals sometimes before they're even on the marketplace and get them out to our clientele before you have to deal with that bidding war. This gives you a competitive edge. When the average agent selling 4 houses a year has to scour the market, they have very little opportunity competing with us. A lot of times we're listing the homes that we sell to our clientele, so we're going to find out about them weeks or even months before the general marketplace knows they exist. By watching the HUD marketplace before properties are available to the public, we can get you the best deals out there before you're competing with 30 other buyers. So the real key to this is hire a professional. And not going to tell you to fire your agent by any means, but really evaluate. Do you feel like you're getting the best service possible? Do you feel like you're getting your questions answered quickly? And most importantly, are they bringing you the best deals at 0 to 1 days on the marketplace? And if they're not, let me promise you, my team's getting there first, because we are trained to scour the market for the best deals and only find them and bring them to our clientele. By the time most agents have heard about them, we've got them under contract. That's why we're a better team than a lot that are out there.
Okay, so I like this one, so I'm going to skip a few. Sorry, folks, we'll get back to them. But I currently rent, but I really want to buy a home. My lease doesn't end for a few months, and I can't afford to pay rent and mortgage. Do I have any options, or do I just have to wait?
If you don't qualify for a mortgage today, you're in a bad spot that you may just have to wait. But here's the reality. Waiting doesn't have to be a year or two. If you got a top-notch mortgage professional like Fred working on your file, we've had people who definitely did not qualify for a loan when they met us, right? Absolutely. And then within 3 to 6 months, Fred had evaluated their credit and gotten it fixed. If you're just sitting and waiting for your credit to improve, or God forbid, trying to figure out the very complicated credit system on your own, you're going to be waiting a lot longer. My advice to you is get my team working for you. Fred can analyze your credit, and in most cases take you from impossible to finance to closing on your first home within 90 days. That can be done. So don't sit by and wait. Let's work together. Let's partner up, get some professional help looking at your credit to get the best deal out there. Rather than waiting, we can actually have some proactive items that can honestly take you from non-qualified to qualified in a lot shorter time than you think if you know exactly what to do. And it takes a professional like Fred on my team here to make that happen. So the advice would be, don't wait, get us involved. We'll get you there a lot faster.
Time.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, I think we got time for what, 2 or 3 more questions?
2 more questions.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm a very busy person and don't have time to allow people to constantly tour my home. Is there a way to avoid showing after showing when listing my property?
Now that's a good question. And the answer is 2 years ago, no. And today, absolutely. We use what's called Matterport 3D technology. And you're going to love this. We'll post a link to it at the end of this video. You guys can check it out. But the idea behind it is a virtual reality tour. You guys have seen those crazy goggles that you wear in your head there that you can walk through. Well, we film all of our listings, not just the expensive ones, not the high-end ones, but every one of our listings is filmed on our Matterport VR software. This allows us to allow people to tour the property from anywhere in the world. And it limits the amount of showings that you get. In certain cases, a lot of cases recently, because the market is so hot, we have sold our properties sight unseen in real life because we've used the Matterport VR. So to you, Mr. or Mrs. Seller who doesn't want to do showings, we now have the technology to make it so you don't have to. We'll do the Matterport VR and we will allow people to tour the property digitally first, and then what we've done is allowed for one live mass showing with all of the interested candidates where 5 different couples who are interested in the property all go through it at once, so you're not dealing with individual showings an hour at a time and having to be dislocated, but rather just doing it once and the property getting sold. And in a lot of cases, we don't show them for real at all. This Matterport technology is so good that a lot of these younger buyers who are comfortable with this technology are buying the house just by doing the virtual reality tour. So if you don't want to show, we can help you with that. Don't waste time or put yourself at risk doing multiple showings on a property when this Matterport technology will eliminate most of the showings because they've seen the house once already, and the showings that do arrive are the interested buyers who are ready to pull the trigger on your property. This is a lot more efficient than the old methodology, but to be honest, it's very expensive and most agents haven't adopted it. We do it on every single one of our listings because we understand your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that the people who do come see your property are interested parties who generally walk through the property at least once, so now they know what they're buying, and by the time they get there, hopefully they're just ready to write an offer. This lowers the amount of showings from 8 to 10 down to 2 or 3 to get a successful offer on a property. It's made a huge difference in our marketing piece.
Last question for this first weekly section of Ask a Realtor. So if we didn't get to you this week, feel free to tune back in next week. We'll be sure to answer those questions as well. This is a really good question, though. You're going to want to hear this one. So why not Zillow?
Can I throw something?
Not on me, but yeah.
Why not Zillow? Listen, it's a hard reality, but Zillow was the bane to the realtor existence, and here's why. Zillow attempted to provide valuation and sales services once done by devout professionals of the industry and basically create it so it can be done by a software. This is not the first time this has been attempted. Look at what happened to the insurance industry or the travel industry. It's been attempted before, but what ultimately happened was the consumer, you, got less service as a result of software trying to solve what a professional should be doing. Zillow gets you a valuation. It gives you an idea of what the property is worth, but here's what it does. It's got a multiplier based on price per square foot. That's it. It looks at what's selling in the neighborhood and it defines what it's going to sell your property at based on what that number came at price per square foot. But we know there's a lot more that goes into selling a house. The lot size, the views, the general condition, how recently you've updated it. Zillow simply can't do all of those other items. It can only give you a zestimate, right? To really find out what your property is worth and get top dollar for it, you want a trained professional. In addition to being a real estate agent, I'm also an appraiser. So we have a sharp understanding here on what it takes to value a property. You want to get a professional look at it, hey, and compare it to Zillow. You know, maybe they'll be really close, but in our experience, Zillow is either way above the mark or way below the mark. Very rarely is it close to accurate. So why not Zillow? Because you can't get an accurate assessment of a professional item like buying or selling a house from a computer. It just cannot be done. So you want to employ a professional, and on the buy side, our services are free. On the sell side, it's not free, but because we're a professional, we are absolutely worth it. Get you more money for your property in less amount of time and provide you the marketing services and financing that you need to make sure this property transaction goes smoothly and gets the best result for you, the consumer, and that's why not Zillow. We feel like we add a lot more to the bottom line, which is why we're still here.
All right, so that does it for our first weekly session of Ask a Realtor. We appreciate you folks tuning in. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Fred, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
This is Brian Corum again with the Integrity team at Keller WIlliams. We are the future of real estate. See you next time.